Good morning.
What's up? What's up?
How's it going?
Oh, chilling. Just chilling. Um, just trying to play catch up as to what I missed in the 7 hours I was sleeping. Because
Just no
apparently,
sleep.
it, apparently I'm just way behind, like 5 days behind.
We're getting there. We're getting you caught up to speed. We're getting you onboarded. It's funny because there's so many people like in these private communities, and first I want to say shout out to Joff and some of the others who, I'm asking them for advice, and we intentionally wanted to go with someone who wasn't crypto native to help go on this journey, and we've talked about it, but with you, learning how to explore this space and navigate it, I think it's going to be good from a content perspective as well. And we're all so entrenched in our own little bubbles and everything else that I think it's important to have some new perspectives. But we were going to talk about the drops, and we will in a moment. But last night, I threw out a tweet, and the tweet, I got some comments on it, not many, but I did say late last night, 13 hours ago, that Coinbase is going to drop their NFT marketplace today.
Mm-hmm.
And some people disagreed, some people did agree, but today here we are. The beta of the Coinbase marketplace is now alive, and so I just want to spend a couple minutes going through it. I'm lucky enough to have gotten access to the beta, and so I just spent a few minutes because not everyone has access
Mm-hmm.
yet. The first thing that I noticed personally is that you have to connect a wallet, right? You can connect your Coinbase wallet or your MetaMask, but I think it's interesting because everyone thought when this thing was going to launch that it was going to just connect directly to your Coinbase account, and I think that's why they're calling this a beta,
Yeah.
because first, eventually, I think it's going to be because you have a Coinbase account, right? You fund Coinbase with fiat,
Yeah.
and because it's custodial, you'll be able to have a gasless experience, and I don't think that's ready, and I think that with the urgency and with what Meta is doing, or Facebook, that they wanted to get out in front, and I think that it's really interesting that they launched today on 420. Who would have thought? That's probably why Rob's not on with us this morning.
Um. So, I mean, you and I have talked about, we've worked together for a long time, but the rushing of projects before things are ready, do you think that they were like, all hands on deck, no one's sleeping, we're getting this out the door, whether it goes or it doesn't? Or do you think that they were just so good at keeping it a secret that they are ready?
Well, they've been teasing it forever,
Okay.
and they talked about a lot of their launch projects, because one of the things that people don't realize, and this is one of the things that Nifty Gateway did well, is when they started allowing not Nifty Gateway projects on their platform, was they went and worked directly with the projects to make sure that the fees and all of those types of things are set up. And so over the last few months, they've been teasing a lot of the projects nonstop about who they're partnering with and kind of what they're going to be doing. So I think it's two things. I think that's a really good question. I think first they would have liked to have probably had the complete package done where you can, and once again, it's been live for like 2 minutes. You and I were on stream together when I was putting in my beta key, right? So
Connecting.
we're looking at this live together for the first time, and so there may be some nuanced stuff. There may be some announcements that I've missed or am missing because we have the morning NFT culture and coffee that we just kind of hopped right into this. So for me, I think that it's cool, it's good, right? Competition's good because now we have LooksRare, we have OpenSea, we have Nifty Gateway, and we have Coinbase. So I think that it's cool that people have options, and it'll be interesting to see, how well the marketplace functions, and if you list on one, can you buy on any? Those types of things still need to be figured out in more detail. But I think for the most part, people are going to be a little bit um, disappointed with the momentum, because this type of momentum, it's going to take time. Like, this isn't a panacea for people that have all their ETH in Coinbase, and now they think, oh, cool, I can just go buy an NFT now. They're still going to have to go through that process, and so I think, it's a good step forward, and it'll be interesting to look at the volume and
Mhm.
see kind of what happens from that standpoint, and when it really kind of causes that breakthrough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm just ready to see what happens. I mean, I think competition's a good thing. So I'm curious to see how just everyone reacts and how everyone plays nice or doesn't with this new friend coming out here. So
Yeah, I mean, the press is going to be really good, right?
mhm.
And Darren, you're asking about how long the beta. I think the beta is probably going to be, Gmail is beta for like 10 years.
Is it
So
really?
yeah, it was like they just dropped the beta like 4 or 5 years ago, but it became a joke. But I think, this will be a beta that is just slowly additive over time, and I think that, it's not the beta is not going to end where it's a certain amount of time, and then it goes alpha, and then everyone has access. I have a feeling that you're going to have to sign up, and they're just going to keep adding wallets and momentum. And that's the other thing, right? Not everyone has access to this yet. So the amount of momentum that's going to start coming through this is going to be less. And so everyone that thought, okay, the day Coinbase launches, everything's going to go bananas. It's just not quite there yet.
Was that like the hype? Like that's what everyone thought? Like everyone was just gonna like lose marbles the day this thing dropped? Or
Yeah, I think. I mean, once again, we're in bubbles within bubbles within bubbles. I think like there. Let's think about it from a fundamental standpoint and say
mhm.
maybe there's a million people that are actively trading in some capacity NFTs. The biggest challenge that we have is onboarding. And when you think about how many, there's, I think, 89 million. I could be wrong, and correct me if I am, but I think there's like 89 million Coinbase accounts. And so when you think about so yeah, 89 million. There's a lot of people that are crypto curious, right? And a lot of
Mhm.
those people are likely NFT curious, but it goes back to like not your keys, not your wallet. It goes back to a lot of the difficulty to onboard into NFTs. I say it over and over about why, had my first NFT been, funding a MetaMask and buying an NFT that way, it would have probably been a lot longer than just attaching my credit card to Nifty Gateway. And then once I bought my first NFT on Nifty Gateway, I then kind of became addicted. And then once I was addicted, then I
Just
start
addicted.
seeing, yeah, then you're there, right?
Yeah.
So how many of these 89 million people, are interested in NFTs, and B, like, if it's just a seamless thing where I click buy because my money's already in a custodial wallet, I can then actually buy it. And I think like that's where the excitement comes from, um, because it's hard.
Do you think that because that's a lot of wallets and just a lot of people who had the intention of getting in the space out of all of those, how do you think are actually active in any sort of community versus like they just got overwhelmed and they're like, I don't
Yeah, I mean, it's a subset of a subset, I think. But I mean, here's the thing: is Coinbase likely, they sent me my beta key, but they're probably announced to everybody
know.
that,
Mhm.
we launched this beta marketplace. And so I think fundamentally, like, Coinbase going all in on NFTs is a good thing. there's a guy named Darren. He's a really sharp mind in this space, and he and I are in some discords together, and we were having this conversation last night about, fundamentally, if you look at the amount of revenue that Coinbase makes,
Mhm.
um, from the fees and the trades and everything, it's 7.84 billion in 2021. Like, even the NFTs as a part of Coinbase is still going to be a pretty small part of their
Yeah.
total revenue, but I think they see the long term value. And when you look at, Facebook changed their name to Meta, the things that Microsoft has announced, all those types of things, I think Coinbase is playing the long game. But
Yeah.
once again, I just don't think it's going to be this massive swell that's just going to pop everything off, and we're going to see, NFTs go mainstream tomorrow. I think we're still a ways away from that.
Okay. That's fair. That is fair. I mean, it's exciting. Like, I'm happy for them. I mean, I
Yeah.
know nothing, but I think it's really cool to see they're like, oh, okay, we can do this too, even if it is just, you know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, a lot of people trust Coinbase, and if
yeah,
Coinbase trusts NFTs, they'll get some of that pass through. Where, okay, I'm willing to explore it now because I can buy it from Coinbase, not OpenSea. So I think there is going to be some of that pull through that's going to be
fan
really,
base.
yeah, really good. But we'll see. It's an exciting morning, and I'm glad that we were able to cover it. But, we also wanted to talk about the drops. So what's on your radar? 3 days in.
I mean, I sports. So hearing the hype about what is the NBA, the association, is that what they're
Yeah,
calling it? Granted, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I love things like this. And I think it's probably because I grew up in the trading card days, like baseball cards and like all of those, you know, actually face to face things. So the association I'm really hyped for because just like looking through, you know, everything that they're offering, thumbs up. I'm excited to see this happen. I think it
yeah,
releases a mint today or like whitelist today. Is that what I saw?
yeah. And this is a project that I'm excited about as well. And if you go to NFTculture.com/drops, you can see kind of what breaks through our filter. Once again, none of this is financial advice. But it's really interesting to see kind of that, the NBA Top Shot has been around for a long time, and they're not Ethereum based NFTs, but they're still NFTs, and there was a lot of excitement, early last year around that. But this is, the NBA embracing Ethereum, and I think like the concept of what they're doing is really interesting because it's a playoff type mint. There's going to be a level of dynamic interaction with it. And when you think about kind of what's going to happen throughout the playoffs, like there's going to be a lot of different things. And so if we go down here, the NFTs are going to change and evolve based on, a bunch of different, both for the player in terms of game winning shots, finals MVP, like all these types of things. And then the team, is going to have an impact on that as well. So they're definitely, oh, you guys can't see this. They're definitely adding like a layer of sophistication to these NFTs. But what else is really interesting for me is that there's going to be 18,000 of these minted, and this is when we think about the use case of what NFTs represent. Everyone's kind of been stuck on this 10,000 number, but I think the overlap with like NFT fans that are comfortable with Top Shot, that are excited about this dynamic new, very first version of this is going to be exciting, and they're free, right? You do have to be on a list to get access to it, but I think that there's a lot of potential upside. So I'm looking forward to this drop as well. It drops in 2.5 hours, so it'll be interesting to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have that one pulled up. I think, I mean, just the layout of the website and the way that they've kind of released everything. I mean, I'm hyped for it. Basketball's not my jam, but I'm hyped for this. Like, it just looks so well thought out. Um, Even to like the countdown being like a actual. I'm Words are hard this morning,
The
but
scoreboard, or like
thank
the,
you.
yeah, like the
Um, but all of it is, I'm here for it, especially around the hype of like um, the playoffs just starting,
right.
and you know it's going to be a crazy playoff year. Just all of the things. So I'm
Yeah,
here for it.
no, I completely agree. There's a few other drops today, and I didn't put them on the drop calendar because they were a little bit lower on the radar, but they did go out in the newsletter. So if anyone,
Mm-hmm.
does subscribe to the newsletter or you're in our Discord, you can see them. But Akamir launched a little bit earlier this morning. Croco Dudes launches today. It's an interesting drop. Vivi's doing their daily thing now. I liked this comic, so I might look at it, but I'm not really big into Vivi these days. But the
What's a VV? I mean,
Vivi is a marketplace that is predominantly on iOS and Android. When Rob hops on with us again, I'll have him walk through Vivi because he's a Vivi maxi and super passionate about it. But they work with Disney, they work with Marvel, they work with
okay.
all of the and they're a dark horse in terms of future value. There's some good things and bad things, but we'll definitely put some more educational content, but it's also a good place to start for people that haven't bought NFTs before. And the last one that I'm interested in, I think you and I agreed on this, was War Kittens.
Yes. I was trying to pull up some War Kittens, but I think I like them. I like the hype that War Kittens has behind them, the support type, and they just look like little badasses. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
Yeah, you can swear on stream,
okay,
but yeah, I agree. Like
like that. I need it. I need it. I want five, but
it's funny. It's like we're in pixel season now, right?
yeah.
We went from like animal season to anime season to now we're in like back in animal season, but very pixelated versions. And so when you look behind me at the moonbird, and then you look at these these pixel cats, I think that it's going to be really interesting. And they are going down the GameFi path, so there is going to
Mm-hmm.
be some PvP elements to it. And one of the things that I also like about this project is that they're doing the mint and the live public mint on the same day. So at 4 o'clock Central today, War Kittens is available, but then tonight at 8:30 they're opening it up for the public. So it's not going to be this massive delay for people. So
Okay.
I'm going to be watching War Kittens pretty closely as well. And the final one that's kind of on people's radars is the Sugar Skulls NFT project. I'm not as bullish on it, but when you kind of start looking at what attributes do you look for to say, okay, do I think it's got a shot at selling out? The fact that they've got 60,000 uh, Twitter followers, you look at the momentum of the people that are liking it. I think there's some health in this project. I'm just kind of over skulls and skeletons because we've seen a lot of that lately.
I I mean, I'm indifferent about the schools. Mainly because like I grew up with sugar skulls all over the place, so um, I'm not picky whatsoever. But I think there is a lot of hype for those who are not used to sugar skull culture. I don't know how to, yeah, but I'm interested to see how well that one takes. So
Yeah, I mean that's what we talked about is you pick your projects and start watching them, and then
mm-hmm.
we need to fund your wallet so that you can take some L's. That was the biggest
Take some L's.
the biggest piece of advice that I've gotten from some of the people that I trust on how do you onboard new people, and it's
Watch
like,
them fail.
yeah, you gotta make mistakes, and
Oh yeah.
you gotta go through a little bit of suffering, and that's
But
how
that's
you
part of
learn.
it. I mean, no one gets it right all the time. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm but I'm much better at like doing something and then being like,
got to take the
yeah,
L's.
that wasn't it. Try again.
Awesome. Well, we're at our 20-minute mark. You
Can't
can't start
start.
winning until you start losing. Absolutely.
10 out of 10. I love that.
Um, awesome. Well, it's been fun so far. We'll get Rob on tomorrow. And then we're still going to be doing the Friday happy hours. Ashley's got some content coming up to talk about the TED Gallery. So we appreciate everyone who's tuning in.
Do we
If you
have any like upcoming interviews people should be ready to see or
Yeah, we're going to publish the Macy Gray interview soon that Rob and I did. It's a couple weeks late. We recorded it a couple weeks ago before NFTLA, but we're excited to publish that. And then, yeah, we're going to be looking, if you are an artist or anyone who has a project, reach out. We'd love to focus on you. Sven and I are going to be doing an interview with Habitats, which is a really cool NFT project that's coming up. But for now, just getting back into the habit of having the morning show, and then hopefully, you guys like it. If you do have comments, questions, concerns, Lauren. I put the gold star on my picks now just to say, okay, I like this one. Once again, not financial advice, but these are the ones I'm watching more closely. But
I'm gonna get a Mally, like a whiteboard, and then just have it like Mal's like W's and L's.
yeah, we talk more about the W's than we do about the L's. But
You
my
grow.
wallet is available. I only actively trade from one wallet, so you can go and look and see when I'm doing good and when I'm not doing as good. But yeah, I also want to start doing the spaces. But to finish my thought, if you have comments, questions, concerns, if you want us to talk about something, join the Discord. We do have a channel called Suggestions. Would love people to join and tell us, what they think we can be doing better, what topics they want us to cover, and what artists we should be interviewing and projects we should be talking about. So help us create better content.
Yeah. What he said.
Awesome. See you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.